What is up, guys? It is the Blue Bloods. And listen, I know y'all saw the name, saw his picture on the thumbnail, man. This guy's been one of our more requested guests, since the season ended, man. We got the man, the myth, the legend, Patrick O'Connell, Montana linebacker. Y'all saw him at the Buck Buchanan Award show. He was a finalist for that award and also multi-time Big Sky All-American as well. So, man, Patrick, thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So, you didn't originally wind up at Montana, man. You were at Mary before you transferred into Montana. So, talk to me about, what your recruiting process was like and, which teams were recruiting you the hardest.
Yeah, so out of high school, I didn't have a whole lot of looks for just football. My biggest goal out of high school was actually to be able to go somewhere to play football and baseball. So um, right out of high school, I know I was talking to some of the Montana schools for like NAIA level for football only, but then I got attention from Division II schools for baseball and football, and University of Mary just so happened to be the best place that I thought at the time for me to continue football and baseball, and I took it and ran with it. So that was the original decision out of high school that I made to go there.
And man, it paid off. I mean, and I don't know how you weren't getting a lot of attention. I was kind of reading through some of your backstory. I mean, did you think to leave any state titles for anybody else in any of the sports, or are you just gonna take them all for yourself? I mean, multi-time state championship winner in three different sports, man. So it was impressive. But you leave Mary after just a season. You transfer to Montana. What
Mhm.
led you to pick Montana as your ultimate destination?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing was just growing up, me and my family, me and my brothers and my dad, we would always go to the Grizz games. Just being 2 hours away from Missoula, living in Kalispell, Montana, um, that was one of the biggest factors. Just kind of wanting to prove myself to the whole state and to everyone that really didn't originally believe in me, to come and play at this level. So that was one of the biggest factors. But just just wanting to make myself better and compete at a higher level was one of the other big factors that led me there too. But like I said, I just wanted to prove myself and show everyone what I could do.
Well, man, it has paid off in a big way. I know there's a lot of schools looking back wishing they would have had you on their team this year, but you know, you come into Montana redshirt, you win actually Scout Team Player of the Year for Montana your first year in the program, and then you have your breakout season in 2019, leading the team in sacks. You were top 10 in the Big Sky. For you, what were the keys to your breakout season? How did you prepare for the moment? And what kind of played into you, exploding onto the scene?
Yeah. The Obviously it's not just me out there, or even you don't even see all the work just on the field with the coaches and everything. But biggest factor was just my hard work and determination to do what I set my mind to do, because I know what I can do, and I think I took it to a whole nother level of hard work and um, dedicating myself to the game and to my teammates and to learning the game of football more was the most important thing. Um, but there's our coaching staff. They push you really hard to be successful and to do the right thing always. And that was one of the most important things for me was them and other people around me pushing me to be better, pushing me to work harder no matter what. Guys like Dante Olson, who was obviously a standout, and Jace Lewis, who's another standout linebacker. All those guys around me, it really, um, I didn't want to let them down. So being around them, kind of you push yourself harder to not let the guy next to you down.
Oh man, absolutely. And I mean, you go from your breakout season, man, and then the FCS was probably they put all the athletes in the FCS level, especially football, into a bad situation. Some teams didn't play, some teams played a spring season, and a lot of teams played 2 full seasons in a calendar year, which has never been done in any sport, man. So for you looking back, how tough was that COVID season on you and the program?
Yeah, I think the hardest thing was just the uncertainty of it, going through all the training. Just normally, like we were saying, we're just going to keep going until we can't. So going through 2 winter conditionings, going through 2 spring balls, having the fall camp canceled, and then eventually we got to play a couple games at the end of the spring. Um, but I don't know if it was necessarily that tough, except for the fact that we didn't get to play all those games like other people did. It was kind of hard to sit there and watch people play. But I think as a team and a lot of individuals, I think there's a lot of people that actually grew from not being able to play, but just kind of practicing and developing their talents and getting their practice time in. I think people really developed within that time, and me specifically, I think I worked on a lot of stuff that I need to work on from the previous year, and it helped me a lot going into this year. But like I said, it was tough just sitting there watching guys play when I was like, well, shoot, if they're playing, then I mean, why can't we be playing? So, yeah.
Oh man, I know that had to be tough, man, especially when some conferences had teams playing and the teams within the conference had to sit out. That's just
Yeah.
had to be brutal. But man, this season, a great year for the Grizz again, man. A
Mhm.
quarterfinal appearance, a nice playoff run for you. What were your final takeaways on the 2020 season, and how did you feel about your season as a whole?
I think the season as a whole was something pretty special, specifically for our defense and the way that we rallied around each other and really bonded as a team and as a unit. It's pretty special to see guys buying in fully, and they're really starting to reap the benefits of that. But I think as a season, obviously, as a team, we got to the quarterfinals, like you said, 2 years in a row now. I think we're looking to take the next step, go to the next level, and start competing for a national championship. That's kind of the standard in our program now. We want to win every single game, um, and I think a lot of guys in our locker room are excited about that standard and accepting that standard to go out compete in every single situation, go win every situation, and start competing again. And going on to the 2022 season, it's going to be an exciting season, and I think 2021 was obviously successful for the team, and what we had to deal with, injuries and all that. Um, so I think as a whole, it was a good season for what we had and for all the work that we put in. And yeah, I think everyone's really excited for the next season.
Oh yeah, you guys are going into the season as one of the favorites to not only win the Big Sky, but also the entire thing, the FCS championship, one of the top 10 preseason teams already being picked by a lot of experts, man. But you know what game we have to ask about from this season? You guys shook up the entire college football world week 1, going to one of the hardest places in the country to play up there in Seattle with the Washington Huskies and
Hmm.
holding that offense to 7 total points. I mean, just a remarkable win, a top 20 team in the country for you. How much did that win mean to the Montana program?
Oh, I mean, that's obviously a once in a lifetime opportunity, something that you'll never get back. So we took it as that. We looked at it like that, and you know, we uh, we kind of went into the game with a confidence and a swagger that we were like, we can really compete with these guys. And after the first drive that we were on defense, they went down and they scored on us, and the speed and the physicality and stuff. I mean, we were matching that, but we just had a few little things here and there that we gave up too much on a couple runs and stuff and had a couple penalties on that first drive. And once we went out there on the second drive, I think we stopped them. I think we got a 3-and-out on the second drive, and we were like, "All right, boys, like we're geared to go. We're ready for the rest of the game now." So that kind of set the tone the whole time. I think our physicality and our speed were something that they weren't necessarily prepared for going into that, and that's something that we pride ourselves on. And so, I mean, it means the world. It's one of the bigger program wins in Montana history, upsetting a top 20 team, especially a Pac-12 team. And like I said, it's one of those things that you don't get a second chance at. I mean, you might get another chance at it, but especially when you're playing like that, you're not gonna you can't blow something like that. So it was one of the most fun things that I've ever been a part of, especially once the game's done. You're celebrating with all your teammates and your coaches, just knowing that all the hard work and the trust that you have in everyone came together. Um, it's just so special because uh, everyone truly left their heart out on the field. I mean, we do that every game, but that one was just a whole new level. And to have that be the first game of the season, like, oh boy, all right, let's go. We got a good team and a good season coming. So it was awesome. There's no other words to explain it, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, and then on top of that, man, y'all got flexed to, a main ESPN station in the middle of the season too.
Hmm.
Montana was in the spotlight all season long, and then you were in the spotlight just a few weeks ago, man. A Buck Buchanan Award
Hmm.
finalist, and you guys were the only team with two finalists in the top four. You
Yeah.
and Justin Ford both got a top four vote. So for you, man, what did that mean to you to have to go to Frisco, be a finalist, and be one of the top defensive players in the country?
I think, like I've said before to other people, it's just super humbling, and it's such an honor to even have my name mentioned in that. Just knowing where I've come from and all the hard work that I put in to get what I have today. Um, it's truly an honor to be mentioned with all those other guys down there and being able to go down there and meet them and just dice it up with them a little bit because um, there's only a certain amount of guys that ever get their name mentioned for that, and a certain amount of guys that get to go down there for the award ceremony. And to be one of those was it was pretty amazing. Have my whole family there with me. It's pretty awesome. But to me, honestly, it means just my hard work's being recognized, and it's pretty cool to see other people recognizing that. But like I said, it's just I don't want it to stop there. I want to keep going. I want to keep being successful and keep working harder and harder for everything that I get, and I want to earn everything that I have. So it's pretty cool to see that work being displayed.
Absolutely, and I mean, they're already putting your name right back in that Buck Buchanan Award race next year. I think this is the first year that like almost all of the finalists who went outside of Troy Anderson are coming back next year too. You and Isaiah
Hmm.
Land are both coming back to school. But man, I get a lot of questions. I cover the FCS. I know how underrated Montana is as a fan base, and I know we're going to speak to that in a little bit. That the fan base is top notch, but everyone asks me as an FCS guy, why would you want to go play in Montana? It's cold. There's no beach. Like it's just not a tourist location. So for you, man, if a recruit asks you what makes Montana special, what would you tell them?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, so it gets cold. I mean, we got hot sunny days in the summer. So we got all the weather, but the best thing about it is that no matter what the temperature is, no matter cold, hot, raining, snowing, I mean, there could be a volcano outside the stadium, but all those fans are still going to show up, and you're going to have 27,000 fans right on top of you the whole game, and they're going to be there supporting you. The whole community is behind you. You got the whole community, you got the whole town of Missoula, the whole state of Montana rooting for you, and it's the best atmosphere that I've ever been to. I've been to a lot of football games, and it's one of the loudest. I mean, I've been to plenty of NFL games, and I still think that our stadium is louder. Um, But we got top-notch facilities. We got top-notch coaches, guys that have been all over for plenty of years now. And it's just truly a special place. You don't get a lot of true teams out there, teams that come together and embrace each other and actually truly love each other and play for each other. And I think that's something that we have that other teams don't. And there's countless. I can make a whole list of why you could come to Montana. I mean, obviously I'm a little biased, but that's just how it is. So
Hey, but that question was meant for you to be biased, man. You
yeah,
had to
exactly.
sell that Montana culture. But man, another thing is you guys play in one of the best conferences in FCS.
Mhm.
It's always Big Sky, Missouri Valley are always those top two conferences, man. So what is it like? What is the grind like throughout the season, having to, play Eastern Washington, turn back around, play your in-state rival in a Montana State? What is that grind like throughout the season?
Honestly, it's pretty cool if you think about it. You get high level football every week, every weekend. You're preparing for teams like they can come in and beat you, or you go there and they can beat you. And you don't get to say that everywhere because there's always those games where it's just the garbage game or whatever. But we don't truly have any of those games because anyone could come in and beat you. Like I said, the Big Sky Conference it's obviously a really tough conference. They got high level players at the FCS, always guys up for national awards, All American, just every year. It's just countless awards and everything. But it's pretty cool because you get done with one game on Saturday and you're already looking forward to the next weekend. You just kind of flush the win. You get right back to it on Sunday and you start watching your film and rehabbing your body because you got a formidable opponent the next week. And I think that's one of the cooler things about it. And then once you look at it at the end of the season, you're like, wow, we just got through that whole season. Like it just went by like that because you're just preparing for all these tough teams. And I think that's pretty cool, honestly, because it could be a drag sometimes for other programs, but I don't think that's really how it is in our conference. And we got a lot of support from a lot of people everywhere. I mean, the Big Sky is it's a big name out there, so it's pretty cool.
Oh man, for sure. There was a lot of games, and that's why your guys' games is getting flexed to ESPN2 in prime time. That's
Yeah.
it's the grind of that conference. But man, I always like hearing players' perspectives on this, man. Take yourself back to that freshman that stepped on Mary's campus way back in the day and compare yourself now. How has your game evolved since from freshman year to now?
Wow. That's kind of a tough one. Well, it's not really tough because it's changed so much, but obviously when you're coming out of high school, if you're going to play college ball, then usually you're one of the top guys or you're the top guy in your high school. So you're like, okay, can't be too hard. I'm going in. I'm top guy. I mean, you're always confident. You step on campus and you're like, holy smokes, all these other guys are just, it's the same as you. They were the top guy. And so you got to work as hard as you can every single day to be the best and to be who you want to be. So I think my work ethic has not like it wasn't lacking, but I just think being around guys that are successful really took it to the next level. Um, and honestly, I think the uh, the biggest thing is my speed and physicality. I think I've adapted um, and overcome some of the stuff that other people can't. I think physicality is something that isn't looked at enough in the game these days. But I think if you look at our team and the way that we play, that it's one thing that you'll notice and how the Grizz play. It's pretty awesome. But personally, I think, well, in high school, I was just one of those typical inside backers. I was playing in the box. I was never on the edge or anything. And now you look at it, I'm kind of coming off the edge, playing in the middle, um, blitzing in the middle. So I think my game's evolved pretty heavily in that aspect. And the use of my hands and feet. I mean, football is so much feet and hands and just using your head to know and to adjust your angles and everything. So there's all my coaches have been so helpful and all that stuff, and it's pretty cool to see the way that you adapt over the years, not even just in the game, but like your body and how you start rehabbing and how you start getting ready and preparing for games. So it's pretty cool to see all that.
Oh man, I like it, and I mean, man, the development has been crazy. I know the coaches in Montana are probably like, we're the poster child of development is Patrick O'Connell, Scout Team Player of the Year to Buck Buchanan Award finalist. Man, it doesn't get any better than that, man. But let's get to know you a bit as a player more, man. So, looking at your game, which NFL linebacker edge player do you compare your game to the most?
Dang, that's kind of tough. Um, I don't know if there's a lot of. I love to watch T.J. Watt, and I love to watch. So he's one of my favorite edge guys, but my favorite inside guy is Bobby Wagner. I mean, I'm a Seahawks guy,
Yeah.
but I love Bobby. I've been watching Bobby his whole career, and it's pretty special to watch him, just the things that he does. But I'd say so. I like to mimic my game after T.J. Watt on the edge, and I like to play in the box like Bobby. So those are my two favorite right now, and they have
I
been.
bet. Yeah, you can't go wrong with either of those guys, man.
No.
TJ's on a different level right now, and
Oh yeah.
Bobby, of course, has been one of the best linebackers in the league for a little while now. But
Hmm.
man, I know I was very superstitious when I was playing, man. So for you, what's your pregame routine like on Saturdays?
Hmm. Well, it's pretty easy. We got a whole we kind of have a schedule that we follow pretty tightly. But for me, I mean, I always like waking up early. I'm an early person. So I'm always up early no matter what, basically. But I get up early. I always hit the shower. And then me and my roommates, we always drive to the stadium together, and then we have our whole breakfast, everything like that, with the team. So we get through all that, and once we walk to the locker room as a team, um, I like to get my jersey and everything already on my pads, and I like to untie my cleats to get them ready for me to put on, and put my pads in my pants and have it all laid out before I go um, warm up in the weight room. So once I get to the weight room, I hit the bike for about 5 or 10 minutes. It's usually around 10, and then I do my foam rolling and my stretching with bands and everything. And I go after that. I do some hurdle mobility, get my hips loose, throw some medicine balls around, and then after that, I go up to the training room, get my taping and everything, get that all done, and then back to the locker room and get dressed and get ready for war. And then that's usually about it, honestly.
I like it. Keep it simple. Keep it
Yeah.
simple. And if teams need any hope against Patrick next year, man, you got to take the medicine balls away. You got to hide him, maybe get him out of his routine a little bit, man. But
Yeah.
defensive players just have a bad stigma, man. It's like the worst trash talkers on the field. It's always the defensive guy. The offensive guys always like snitch on y'all and say that you guys are the ones starting the trash talk. But for
Yeah.
you, are you a big trash talker in the game?
Personally, no, I'm not. I'm not a big trash talker. I've just always been kind of even keeled. Just never get too high, never get too low. That's just kind of my motto and what I've always learned growing up, and especially in high school. They just taught us to stay on that even plane and not make it like a roller coaster. So, obviously there's times where you kind of lose yourself a little bit and you talk, but I'm sure if you ask other people, they'd say I'm a trash talker, but I don't think I'm trash talking too much.
He said there might be a little bit. You got to instigate it. You got to instigate it.
Yeah.
So, oh man, I love it. But for you, man, looking back throughout your career, who's the best offensive player you've ever had to face?
Oh boy. I mean, Eric Barrier is one of the best dudes, one of the best quarterbacks I've ever played. We played, um, obviously played Justin Herbert at Oregon. Um, he's, but if we're talking FCS level, it's definitely Eric Barrier. Just he's one of a kind. Like he's so elusive and slippery, and I don't. If you watch his tape this year, I don't think anyone ever got a big hit on him. Like it's not possible to get a big hit on him because he's so plays with those instincts and he knows where the pressure is coming from and he can dodge and duck and stiff arm you, spin out of it. So I'd probably have to say him.
Oh man, and you guys had to face twice this year because you guys faced them in the playoffs too. Hey, you guys got the better of them in
That's
the game
right.
that mattered in the playoffs, man. That was one heck of a game too.
Yes,
But
sir.
you're coming back, man, and I know
Mm.
it's hard. Like, I mean, your goals. I mean, you were a Buck Buchanan Award finalist, multiple runs in the playoffs. But for you, what are your goals for the 2022 season to up that?
Yeah. The honestly, the only two goals I have are just to win the Big Sky and win the national championship. That's really all I care about, and I think if you ask our team, that's all that they'd care about too. Um, I just want to lead my team, lead them by example, lead them on and off the field, and be able to lead them to those rings. And I think that'd be the main goals that I have, and the only two that I really care about right now, honestly. So yeah.
I like it. Straight to the point, motivated, man. But it's probably gonna be your last year, man, in Montana before you take off to the NFL. If you got to play schedule maker, man, and got to schedule one FCS non-conference matchup that you haven't played yet, who would
Ooh,
you schedule?
in the FCS, huh?
Hmm.
Dang. I mean, I think one if we could schedule, I think it'd be awesome to get a NDSU matchup again. Have
Ooh,
them have them come into Washington Grizzly Stadium again, like they did when Carson Wentz was playing. So I think that's my matchup that I would want to play.
I like it. I like
Yeah.
that. Hey, and maybe if everything works right at the playoffs, y'all, if we can get on opposite sides of the bracket, we can meet in Frisco
Yes, sir.
next season, man. I like it. So, last question here, man, and I said it with all purpose in that last question, man. You're headed to the NFL after this next season, man, because there's no chance in the world that your name is being called on April. So for you, if an NFL franchise asks what they're going to get in Patrick O'Connell if they take you, what do you tell them?
I tell them you're getting consistency. Consistency not only on the field, you're gonna get it in the weight room, in the film room. You're gonna get it in my everyday life. You're gonna get it in my diet. You're gonna get it in all the people I hang around, just my whole life and my faith, my family. It's all. I'd say that's you're just gonna get a consistent hard worker who's I'm never satisfied with what I have or what I've done, and I always want to be better and I always want to get more. And I think that's simply put, that's what you're gonna get with me. So
Oh man, I like it. I know we're gonna be rooting for you on the show, man, and definitely can't wait to see you in some of the postseason games and everything after. But next season, man, we're gonna be paying attention real closely. I want to try to get up there to a Montana home game, man. I've been told by so many people I got to make it up there,
oh yeah.
so I'm gonna work on getting that schedule for this season, man. But this is your time, man. Thank you so much for coming on, man. Let the people know where they can find you on social media. Anything, any shout outs or plugs you need to give, man. This time is yours.
Hey, yeah, I mean, you got to get up here. It's one of the best environments that you'll ever get to. I guarantee it. But if you need help, let me know. I'll get you down here.
Oh man, for
That'd be
sure.
sweet.
I'll definitely let you know. I gotta look in my schedule, see when
Yeah.
I can make it up there for a game, man. I'm
Mhm.
down in Alabama, so
Yeah.
it's a hike up to Montana, man. But man,
No, yeah, you
before we
can. Sorry, I was just gonna say you can find me on everything. I got Instagram, Twitter. Um, I think I just need to shout out my family and everyone that's helped me get here to where I am today. All my coaches and all my teammates for helping me get all these accomplishments and everything. And I'm excited for the 2022 season and excited to get rolling.
Oh man, absolutely, man. Well, we will definitely be staying in touch, man. Guys, go make sure to follow Patrick on all social media, man. Y'all know we got to support the athletes, especially at the FCS level, man. Always getting overlooked, which are why these interviews and you guys supporting these players is so important. But for Patrick, myself, and the Blue Bloods guys, we are out for right now.